The national minimum wage increased from R20.76 to R21.69 this week, and the increase has been criticised by some who have cited the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. There have been some strong objections from business bodies. So let's speak to the National Employers Association. We are joined via Zoom by their Chief Executive, Gerhard Papenfus. Gerhard, good evening to you. Thank you for your time. How do you think that businesses will respond to this national minimum wage?
You know, smaller businesses will definitely be affected. They are, you can only pay what the market allows you to pay. If you cannot sell your product, accommodating the increase, that will impact on the employees. I've received a letter yesterday from an employer, which I don't know, but I received a letter which said that over years, because of the minimum wage, the number of employees in his employer is reduced from 130 to 12. So it has an impact. I think that small employers in the rural areas will simply not being able to pay that. But, you know, there's another side to this coin, and that is the employees. And I think when employer bodies like myself complain about it, we, on one side, protest on behalf of small employers and employers in rural areas and in agriculture and domestic employers. But we also protest on behalf of the employees. South Africa has got an unemployment rate of unofficially about 43%. And, you know, what do you say to an employee that says, I'm prepared to present my labor for less?
The question is, we're not even talking about...
Where does he go to? What's the alternative?
But we're not even talking about a living wage here. We're talking about a basic minimum wage, right?
Well, but what is the alternative? If you look, an employer pays what he can afford. This is where your government misses this. If you can't pay it, then you don't pay it. Do we have 11 million people that do not have work? What is the alternative? How can government, when somebody come up to you and says, I want to work for you, and you say, I can't afford to pay that, and he says, but I'm prepared to work for less. Now, what is the alternative? Basing a food grant of 350 Rand a month. That's the alternative. So here's the thing. There are 11 million people that currently cannot find work. And remember, the formal sector, which I'm in operating, we pay this. And this is not even a factor. None of our employees is in any way affected by this. But we know there are 11 million people that currently doesn't have work. And nobody is arguing that 4,000 Rand a month is a lot of money. That's not the point. But there are small businesses in rural areas which simply cannot afford it. So what do? They restructure. They have less employees. They work shorter hours. Let's look at, the agricultural wage is increased by 16%. Domestic sector is increased by 23%. Now, this is just after COVID. Some of these employers, domestic employers, have lost their jobs. In some cases, where there's a household with two income earners, there's only one. So what do? They can't pay the increased wage, so they ask these employees to work less hours. So they accommodated their restructure in order to accommodate that. The point is, South Africa has got the highest unemployment rate in the world. And we can't do these things in this time. Unemployment is a crisis in South Africa.
Okay.
This is the number one crisis that we are facing.
We will leave it there. It is an ongoing debate. Right now, it is the national minimum wage, and there are many who argue that it is long overdue. Gerhard Papenfus, thank you so much, the Chief Executive there of the National Employers Association.